This is the stainless steel dual exhaust system fitting all 2011 through 2014 5-liter F-150s. Now the dual catback that we're talking about here today will hands down be one of your most affordable full stainless systems on the site for your Coyote powered rig, while also giving you some flexibility with how you want the system to look thanks to the included piping that gives you either the dual side exit or dual rear exit piping. Now prospective buyers can look forward to that 409 grade stainless steel throughout here, including your chambered muffler that will help increase the bark on your truck, all for right around that low $400 price point. But as is tradition, let's get right into the sound clips you can expect here with the affordable dual system bolted up. And as I just mentioned, guys, yes, it's certainly louder than stock, there's no denying that, but it's not going to make your ears bleed. And that's probably one of the things I enjoy most about this particular system. Listen, if you want to have the loudest truck on the block, that's great. There are going to be other systems on the site you can check out. Just know that this is not going to be it. Now, if you are looking for something to make enough rumble while driving without driving you or the wife crazy, well then you might want to consider this. So breaking out my patented Wake the Neighbor scale, I have the chambered system coming in at a solid 3 out of 5 on my 1 to 5 or 1 to Wake the Neighbor scale. Now inside the truck, on the other hand, things do remain relatively quiet here. Only a small amount of noise really finding its way inside the cab while cruising. But this is a great time to really read up on some of those customer reviews, to hear from fellow F-150 owners who have put in miles on their rigs with this system installed and will give you their honest feedback. But with the sound covered, let's move into quality and construction. And as we mentioned at the top of this video, guys, you are looking at maybe one of the most affordable full stainless steel systems currently available on the site for your 11 to 14 F-150. Now, specific material here, guys, is that 409 grade stainless to be exact. That's gonna land, I would say, right in the middle between the 304 grade stainless on the top end. That's typically gonna command top dollar. And then of course you have the aluminized steel on the more budget-friendly side of things, which doesn't really offer a ton of corrosion resistance. 409, on the other hand, again, solid system, will certainly offer the corrosion resistance necessary even for those fairly snowy or salty areas. But aside from the material, you are going to be looking at a combination of 3-inch and 2.5-inch mandrel-bent tubing. That will lead into and out of your traditional chambered muffler here, and then everything is going to find its way down and exit out of these rather large 3.5-inch polished tips. But maybe one of my favorite parts here about this system, guys, besides the very low price point for the quality stainless, is the fact that this system does kick in separate piping that allows you to run this as a dual side exit, basically throwing those tips right behind the rear tires, or they give you piping to do this as a dual rear exit, which will bring those tips right underneath that rear bumper. I love that. I love having options with my stuff in general, and to have that with a very budget-friendly exhaust certainly is pretty awesome. Moving into our pricing block here, guys, and again, we're talking about a very budget-friendly system coming in right around that low $400 mark. Again, making this easily one of the most affordable full stainless systems on the site at the time of this video. Now you can also find other options from companies like C&L, the Proving Ground series. That's also going to deliver a similar build quality, similar materials, a little higher of a price point, but not by much. And that's pretty much it in this price range. In fact, MBRP does offer their Installer series, which is an aluminized steel system that's going to come in roughly the same cost as this. So again, you want to stay stainless, you don't want to sacrifice materials, and you don't really want to have the loudest truck on the block. I really can't recommend this system enough. Now this is the perfect time to segue into our installation process, and for all the good we've been talking about here with this system, and there is a lot to say good about the dual system, the install and the fitment is where you might start noticing a little bit more of that budget-friendly price point come into play. There is going to be some trimming necessary depending on your wheelbase, of course. The instructions do spell that all out very clearly, but just know that that might be in the cards for you, so just be prepared for that. In addition to that, guys, I would say just 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Here's what you're going to be looking at. Leave yourself a couple of hours in the garage or driveway and you'll be good to go. But now to give you a better idea of how this one might go down at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, exhaust hanger remover tool, 13mm ratcheting wrench, 14mm wrench, an extension, 10, 13, and 16 millimeter sockets, and a 13 millimeter swivel socket. What's up guys? Today we're installing an exhaust on our F-150. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory exhaust, and then I'll meet you back here for the install.
So the first step of this install is going to be to remove your factory exhaust system to make room for your new one. In order to get started on this, you're going to want to have your vehicle safely supported on either a lift or jack stands. So let's get started. So I'm going to start by removing these 2 bolts here on the inlet flange. It's a good idea to hit them with a little bit of rust penetrant before you remove them. So I'm just going to spray down the bolt threads, and then I'm going to use a 13 millimeter socket on my ratchet and remove the bolts. So my next step is going to be remove these 2 bolts for the hanger in front of the muffler. Now you can just remove the hanger from the rubber isolator if you want, but I find it easier to remove the hanger completely and swap it over to your new exhaust system off of the vehicle. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the other 2 hangers with some penetrant, and I'm going to use my pry bar to push the exhaust system back out of the hangers, and with the help of a friend, I'm going to lift the exhaust up over the axle and remove it from the truck.
So now with our stock exhaust removed, we can install our front pipe. I'm going to line up our flange, and then I'm going to slide on this hanger clamp to go into this rubber isolator, just to support the back of this pipe while I get the hardware installed. We've got new hardware included in the kit. We've got a bolt with a flat washer going through from the front to the back. And then on the other side, we have another flat washer, a lock washer, and a nut. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And I'm just snugging those up by hand for now. We're gonna leave these loose and then come back to the end and tighten them down. So now we're gonna tighten down this clamp to our front pipe. Now we're gonna be using a separate clamp right up here for our muffler flange. So you wanna put that back far enough where they're not gonna be in the way, but you still want a little bit of your rod sticking out of this isolator. Once you've got that in place, take a 16 millimeter socket, tighten down the nut. Now with that clamp tightened down, we're gonna slide a clamp onto our muffler. Slide that onto the front pipe. And we're just gonna get that nice and straight, and then we can tighten down that clamp. Next, we're gonna get our over axle pipes in place. So throw 2 of your clamps onto the muffler outlets. And then we'll get our pipes in. Now I'm going to start with our driver's side over axle pipe. So put that over your axle and then get it into your isolator. Connect it into the muffler. And then before I tighten that down, I'm going to get my passenger side over axle pipe in just to have this all leveled out where it needs to be, and then we'll tighten it down. Now we'll take the passenger side over axle pipe, go into your isolator first, line it up with the muffler outlet. Next we need to install our hanger right up here on the frame, and then we can install our crossover pipe. So we've got a bolt and a flat washer that we're going to need coming down through the circle hole. So I'm going to put it up through this square hole, and then there's a circle hole in the side that you can use to guide it into place. Get that dropped in there. Add your hanger, and then you're going to add a flat washer, lock washer, and a nut onto the bottom of that bolt. Now take a 13mm ratcheting wrench and snug that up. Now we can install that crossover tube. Throw a clamp onto your pipe. And then I'm going to connect this into our hanger first. Now go back with a 16mm socket and tighten down those 3 clamps. So now you've got a couple options. You can either install this pipe that's going to make your exhaust come straight out the back, or you can install this pipe that's going to bend it out the side. So this is what the first one's going to look like. We're going to have our tip going right out there. Or you can use this one to dump it out behind your wheel. Now for demonstration purposes, I'm going to be installing the one that goes straight out of the back. So I'm going to get my tip on here and slide that on, and I'll use that to line it up. So I've got my tip on the end of that pipe. I'm going to throw my clamp on. Slide that onto the tailpipe, and then you can use your tip on the end so you know where to rotate it. And then you're going to grab your 16mm socket once it's in a good spot and tighten down your clamp. And then you just need to adjust how far in or out you'd like your tip, and then tighten down that clamp. Then do that same thing on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the dual exhaust system with polished tips, rear exit for your 2011 to 14 5-liter F-150. Thanks for watching, and for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.